With so many different financial products that are out there, so many different type of accounts you could do for retirement, it's like an alphabet soup. Today, we're going to specifically talk about the 7 types of IRAs that are out there, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can choose what's best for you during retirement, even though you're doing the planning during the working years. And in retirement, you must keep an eye on taxes, inflation, and lost opportunity costs. Stay tuned. All right, folks, so check it out. Let's get into some definitions according to Investopedia. Individual retirement account. An individual retirement account, IRA, is a long-term savings account that individuals with earned income can use to save for the future while enjoying certain tax advantages. That means a tax write-off. The IRA is designed primarily for self-employed people who do not have access to workplace retirement accounts, such as the 401k, which, by the way, is available only through employers. You can open up an IRA through a bank, an investment company, an online brokerage, or a personal broker. So here's some key takeaways that I want you to consider. Remember, you could rewind this and take a picture. But as I mentioned before, individual retirement accounts, IRAs, are retirement savings accounts with tax advantages. That's number one. Number two, the types of IRAs include a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, simplified employee pension or a SEP IRA, savings incentive match plan for employees or a simple IRA. Number three, money held in IRAs usually can't be withdrawn before 59.5 without incurring a hefty tax penalty of 10% of the amount that you withdraw. And number four, last but certainly not least, there are annual income limitations that apply to deducting contributions to traditional IRAs and contributing to Roth IRAs. Basically, with the Roth, if you make too much money, they discriminate and don't let you put money into it. There's more to come on that on personal calls, but I just want to be able to kind of give you the big picture first before we bring it back home. So according to NerdWallet, number one, traditional IRA remains the most popular of the individual tax advantage retirement savings accounts. The classic features include contribution limits of $6,500 in 2023, $7,500 if you're over age 50. For 2024, the limit is now $7,000 or $8,000 if you're 50 or older. Contributions may be deductible, thus lowering your taxable income for the year. It all depends on your current income plus whether you or your spouse has a workplace retirement plan. Number two, investment earnings are not taxed as long as the money remains in the protection of the account. Last but not least, withdrawals in retirement are taxed at your tax rate at the time of retirement. Now, here's the risk with any qualified plan, and that is a pre-tax plan, including this IRA. You don't know what your tax bracket's going to be in retirement, so choose wisely as you work through this. I always feel that you want to complement anything that's going to be like this that also is on the opposite side that's tax-free so you can manage the tax code a little bit better. Number two, Roth IRA provides a nice tax savings counterbalance, as I just mentioned, to the traditional IRA. Here are its key features. While contributions are not deductible, meaning there's no upfront tax break, withdrawals, and I love this, buy your straw hats in the winter, withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. The maximum annual contribution in 2023 is $6,500, $7,500 if you're 50 years or older. For 2024, the limit is $7,000, once again, $8,000 if you're over age 50. There are income limits to contribute to a Roth IRA, but if you earn too much to contribute, there's a completely legal way to open up one anyway via a backdoor Roth. More to come on that privately. And last but not least, the Roth IRA withdrawal rules are more lenient, allowing tax and penalty-free withdrawals of contributions at any time. That's important, folks. Tax and penalties apply to withdrawing earnings before retirement, with few exceptions. Number three, SEP IRA. The first 3 letters stand for Simplified Employee Pension. Even though it's a type of traditional IRA, it is set up and funded for employees by an employer who gets the tax benefits for the effort. Within a SEP, earnings grow tax-free, distributions in retirement or taxed. Other highlights include annual contribution limits, which are much higher than what's allowed in other tax-favored retirement accounts, the lesser of up to 25% of employee compensation, or $66,000 in 2023. For 2024, the limit is $69,000. Contribution size may vary year to year based on the business cash flow, but must always be equal for all eligible workers. Now, the SEP IRA is a game changer as you begin to earn more income. Once again, I'm going to say, though, whatever you put in pre-tax, on the backside, you're going to get hit with ordinary income taxes. So don't let no one tell you that it's going to be tax-free, or don't let no one tell you what the tax code is going to be in 10, 20, or 30 years, because nobody knows. It's important you understand the education side of this, and if you get that, proper balance is always the key. Number 4, non-deductible IRA. If you or your spouse has a retirement plan at work and your income exceeds the IRA income limits, then you may not be able to deduct your traditional IRA contributions, but you could still put money into an IRA. The main things to know about a non-deductible IRA are, number 1, contributions are made with after-tax dollars and, as the name makes it clear, are not deductible. Number 2, you still get the perk of tax-deferred growth on earnings within that account. Number 3, tax and retirement are due on any earnings growth you withdraw, but not the principal, since the account was funded with already taxed dollars. It's important to know that, and as a sidebar, this is where you can play in the game of a backdoor Roth. More to come on that privately. Don't forget to click the link at the end of the video if you want to sit down with one of the team members that could create much more clarity on that. But in the end, it still comes down to understanding how to diversify within amongst asset classes, including what type of retirement plans you do. Number 5, spousal IRA. IRS rules state that a person must have earned income to be eligible to contribute to an IRA. But there's a workaround for married taxpayers. If one half of twosome isn't working or brings in a very low income, you could still both contribute to your own separate IRAs, either Roth or traditional. 2 things to think about. Couples must file a joint tax return and have taxable compensation to be eligible. And number 2, contribution limits are the same as for the traditional and the Roth. The non-working spouse can contribute up to $6,500 in 2023, $7,500 if they're older than 50, and for 2024, the limit is $7,000, $8,050 and up. The working spouse can contribute the same amount to his or her own IRA. Number 6, simple IRA. The simple IRA stands for Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees. Is similar in many ways to an employer-sponsored 401k. It primarily exists for small companies and the self-employed. Unlike the SEP IRA, employees are allowed to contribute to the account via salary deferral. Some plans even allow an employee to select the financial institution they want to use to hold for their account. Tax-wise, simple IRA rules are much like those that apply to traditional IRAs. Other considerations, 2 of them. Number 1, contribution limits are lower than the 401k. So it's $15,500 in 2023 and $16,000 in 2024. And number 2, employers are generally required to kick in up to 3% matching contribution or a fixed contribution of 2% of each eligible employee's compensation. This contribution is due by the tax deadline or extension if applicable. That was a lot, folks. And I understand that, and your brain is probably going in 17 different directions. This is why when we sit down with folks, it takes 60 days, it's 6 calls, and we do a thorough financial look under the hood with no obligation on your part, so just stay tuned. Number 7, self-directed IRAs. Self-directed IRAs in the traditional and Roth flavors are governed by the same eligibility and contribution rules as traditional and Roth IRAs, except for one big difference: what goes into the account. The other IRAs covered in this article typically limit investments in the account to common vehicles like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. In a self-directed IRA, danger, this is a danger alert. I want to give you all kinds of red lights on how dangerous it is if you talk to the wrong person about self-directed IRAs. To be clear, in a self-directed IRA, you're allowed to own assets such as real estate, hard assets like gold, and privately held companies. Some of the must-knowns are setting up one requires a trustee or a custodian who specializes in the less typical types of investments you're interested in holding into this account. And last but not least, the IRS does not allow holding things like collectibles and life insurance in this account. Let me just say it this way. If somebody calls you and tells you to open up a self-directed IRA and move your traditional IRA into it for the purposes of buying real estate, I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea, but just know the tax benefits go out the window on why people buy real estate during the wealth accumulation phase, and make sure that you get somebody independent to I dot and T cross and validate why you're going to do something like that, because you may think that the real estate's going to give you all the other tax benefits, but the truth is whatever that real estate's going to give you, including rent cash flow, is still going to get taxed at some point in ordinary income when you take distributions. All right, as you determine what is best for your situation, go ahead and click the link below. One of the members here at Epic, no obligation, will take you through our success process, 60 days, 6 calls, full understanding of getting a look under the financial hood to help you make the right decisions that are based on your goals and objectives. Once again, I want to stress there's no obligation, but you want to be able to come prepared to that meeting. I want to thank you for following us. Don't forget to subscribe, and please continue to share our message.